I think the private sector has a very important role to play because the private sector, of course, have the responsibility to respect child's rights. And of course, private sector also have the resources and also leverage and influence to level the playing field and to pay the respect of child rights, particularly implementing due diligence in the supply chain. And of course, by having policy commitment and also implementing due diligence in supply chain, we will be able to identify better what are the child rights risks and also address the issue a little bit better, and also to identify the correct support to the communities, as well as to work also together with the other stakeholders to address root causes. But it's also very important that we need to recognize it is vital to work together with governments, institutions, non-profit organizations, and expert organizations to address child rights issues, because we need all the stakeholders to work together to really make change and a positive impact. And we also really need to make sure that while working with these stakeholders to create an enabling environment for companies to operate and also to address the root causes in a more effective way. I think it's very important for companies to work with organizations such as Global Child Forum. The first reason being that this really provides us a platform to share best practices and be informed about the trends, emerging standards, and etc. So as a social sustainability practitioner, it's also very interesting to also connect with like-minded professionals so that we can leverage expertise and also share challenges and come up with common solution. And I think the second reason being that with the Global Child Forum, we are all being benchmarked under the Global Child Forum benchmark. So the benchmark itself really help us to really understand where we are now as a company, to also understand what are the potential improvement in terms of what we are doing to protect child's rights, so that we can always work together through the forum, identifying different stakeholders to work with to continuously improve. I guess here we can speak a bit broader, not only for Ferrero. So if I can speak on behalf of the industry, I think there are three key challenges. The first challenges is to navigate in the landscape of international standard and also national standard, especially when we operate in countries where the international standards and national legislation have conflict and they are not aligned with each other. So of course, as Ferrero, we always aim to implement the international standard, but there are also very practical challenges that, how do we really navigate in between the gaps. And I think the second challenge is regarding supply chain feasibility and traceability. Because obviously, if we don't know where we source our raw materials, we don't know who are the actors of the supply chain, it is really impossible for us to understand the magnitude of the issue, what are the risks, so let alone identifying a proper mitigation and remediation activities to address those issues. Third challenge is the lack of data. And by that, I also mean the quality of the data. Because without the quality of the data, we will not be able to track the progress of what we have done on the ground. And we will also not be able to understand the significance of it. So I think to sum up, these are really the three key challenges that our company and also for the industry as a whole are facing. So we have started a collaboration and established a partnership with Save the Children since 2020. And last year, for example, we have already reached 38,000 of beneficiaries in our community development program, which aims at eradicating child labor and also improving the livelihood of families and children on the ground in the cocoa growing communities. And throughout this program, we've also reached 64,000 children last year in contributing to educational support, women empowerment, and also youth support, all different activities. And secondly, our farmer groups of cocoa and also the local communities are being 100% covered by the child labor remediation and monitoring system. So it is really a system that is led by the community to identify child labor risk and also to find a solution to remediate and mitigate those risks.